Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, me and my team want to present our presentation about designing classroom language tasks. So, this is the outline of our presentation. First, we have test types. Second, some practical steps to get construction. And last, scoring, grading, and feedback. First, test types. Test types consist of 5 tests, like language aptitude test, proficiency test, placement test, diagnostic test, achievement test. First, we have language aptitude test. What is language aptitude test? Language aptitude test is designed to measure capacity or general ability to learn a foreign language and ultimate success in the undertaking. Language aptitude tests are ostensibly designed to apply to the classroom learning of any language. 2 standardized aptitude tests have been used in the USA, like the Modern Language Aptitude Test, or MLAT, and the Pimsleur Language Aptitude Test Battery, or PLAB. Both are English language tests and require students to perform a number of language-related tasks. And this is the task in the Modern Language Aptitude Test. First, number learning. Examinees must learn a set of numbers through oral input and then discriminate different combinations of those numbers. Second, phonetic script. Examinees must learn a set of correspondences between speech, sounds, and phonetic symbols. 3. Spelling clues. Examinees must read that are spelled somewhat phonetically and then select from a list the one word whose meaning is closest to the disguised word. 4. Words in sentences. Examinees are given a keyword in a sentence and then asked to select a word in a second sentence that performs the same grammatical function as the keyword. 5. Paired associates. Examinees must quickly learn a set of vocabulary words from another language and memorize their English meaning. Second test, we have proficiency test. A proficiency test is not limited to any one course, curriculum, or single skill in the language. Rather, it tests overall ability. Proficiency tests have traditionally consisted of standardized multiple-choice items on grammar, vocabulary reading comprehension, oral comprehension. Proficiency tests are almost always summative and norm-referenced. A typical example of a standardized proficiency test is the test of English as a foreign language, as we know TOEFL, produced by the Educational Testing Service. Key issue in the testing proficiency is how the constructs of language ability are specified. Third, we have placement tests. Certain proficiency tests can act in the role of placement tests. The purpose of this test is to place a student into a particular level or section of a language curriculum or school. A placement test usually but not always includes a sampling of the material to be covered in the various courses in curriculum. Placement tests come in many varieties, like assessing comprehension and production responding to written and oral performance, open-ended and limited responses selection, like multiple choice, and gap-filling formats, depending on the nature of program and its needs. Fourth, diagnostic test. Diagnostic test is designed to diagnose specified aspects of a language. A test in pronunciation, for example, might diagnose the phonological features of English that are difficult for learners and should therefore become part of curriculum. diagnostic tests should elicit information on what students need to work on in the future. For example, diagnostic tests might offer information about a learner's acquisition of verb tenses, modal auxiliaries, definite article, elative clauses, and the like. A typical diagnostic test of oral production was created by Clifford Prater at 1972 to accompany a manual of English pronunciation. And the last test, we have achievement test. An achievement test is related directly to classroom lessons, units, or even a total curriculum. Achievement tests are or should be limited to practical material addressed in a curriculum within a practical time frame and are offended after a course has focused on the objective in a question. Achievement tests are often summative because they are administered at the end of a unit or term of study.
Practical steps to test construction. This is 4. Assessing clear and ambiguous objective, devising test tasks, drawing up test specification, designing multiple choice test item. Assessing clear and ambiguous objective. In addition to knowing the purpose of the test you're creating, you need to know as specifically as possible what it is you want to test. Selected objective for a unit in a low, intermediate, integrated skills course. Form focus objective, listening and speaking. Communication skills, speaking. Reading skills, simple essay or story. Writing skills, simple essay or story. And this is drawing up test specification. Test specification for classroom use can be a simple and practical outline of your test. In the unit discussed above, your specification will simply comprise a broad outline of the test, what skills you will test, and what the item will look like. Test specification: 1. Speaking, 2. Listening, 3. Reading, 4. Writing. This informal classroom 2-oriented specification give you an indication of the topic objective you will cover, the implied elicitation and response formats for items, the number of items in each section, and the time to be allocated for each. And this is division test tasks. Your oral interview comes first, and so you draft question to conform to the accepted pattern of oral interviews. You begin and end with non-scored items, warm up and wind down, designed to set students at ease, and then sandwich between the item intended to test the objective, level check, and little bit probe. And this is oral interview format. And okay, you can see and read this. And this is test items first draft.
Okay, next, design multiple choice test item. 1. Multiple choice item are all reserved or selective. Response item is that the test taker chooses from a set of response, commonly called a supply type of response, rather than creating a response. Other receipt item tab include true or false question and matching list. In the discuss here, the quickly apply primarily to multiple choice item type and not necessarily to other receipt type. 2. Every multiple choice item has a stem, which presents a stimulus and several, usually between 3 and 5, option or alternative to choose from. And the last 3. One of the those options, the key, is the correct response, while the other server as the structure. Okay, next. 1. Design each item to measure a specific objective. Multiple choice item reverse. Multiple choice item reverse. Example. Voice. Where did Georgie go after the party last night? And she reads A. Yes, he did. B. Because he was tired. And C. The airline plans for another party. And D. Around 11 o'clock. And then multiple choice item flawed. Excuse me, do you know? And A. Where is the post office? B. Where the post office is? And C. Where post office is? Okay. 3. Make certain that the intended answer is currently the only correct one. Multiple choice item flawed. Voice. Where did Georgie go after party last night? And she reads A. Yes, he did. B. Because he was tired. C. To align plans for another party. D. He went home around 11 o'clock. Okay. 3. Scoring, grading, and feedback. Scoring. The scoring plan reflects the relative weight that teacher place on each section and item in each section. Oral interview, percent of total grade, 40%, and then for score 5 to 1 range x2 is possible total correct is 40, and listening percent of total grade is 20%, and then 10 item 2 point each, possible total correct is 20. And reading percent of total grade is 20%, and then 10 item 2 point each, possible total correct is 20, and the last writing percent of total grade is 20%, and to score 5 to 1 range x2, possible total correct is 20, and total L is 100. Okay, grading. How we to assign letter to this test is product of 1. The country, culture, and context of this English classroom. 2. Institutional expression, most of them unwritten. 3. Explicit and implicit definition of grade that we have set forth. And 4. The relationship we have established with this class. And 5. Student expectation that you have educated in previous tests and quizzes in this class. Okay. Feedback from a feedback. A letter grade and a total score for the L and R session. A. An indication of correct or incorrect response. B. Marginal response. For the oral interview, A. Score for each element being read. B. A checklist of area needing work. C. Oral feedback after the interview. D. A post-test conference to go over work. E. A self-assessment. Individual conference with each student to review the whole test.